I wanted to kind of talk from the heart, not do a reaction video or comment on anything else, but just kind of have a heart to heart with the young men out there, and you know, whatever women might hear this message too. So the whole point of everything that I do, Tribe of Rebels, and what it is, it's essentially, at its heart, is me trying to figure out a way to bring more people to knowing who Jesus Christ is. So the testimonies I gather, the people I talk to, I gather those because I know that people got so many different stories. People have suffered, people have found victory through the love of Jesus Christ, and I know those stories can inspire somebody out there. So I'll talk to anybody who loves Jesus and who has a story, right? So that's why I gather those testimonies. I comment on the degenerate stuff I see online because somebody needs to speak up against it. One of the main weapons the enemy has used against Christian men and women is the weapon of shame and the fear of being canceled, the fear of losing your job if you say the wrong thing, or getting henpecked by the feminists if you say the wrong thing. And this is my message to young people out there. I mean, to anybody out there who has the ears to listen to what I got to say. I'm speaking from the heart, right? So listen up. The reason I attack a lot of these ideologies, especially feminism, is this. The greatest gift God has ever given me is, besides my own life, is my wife and children. I don't even know what the hell I was doing before I was a father. I remember my life before I was a father, obviously, right? And I have a lot of regret and a lot of shame of the things I did. I can go on and on about all the crap I did. And it was, if I could take it back, I would, and I would never want my sons to live the life I lived. I gained a lot of wisdom through the experiences I had. But I did a lot of wrong and a lot of evil, a lot of women, a lot of violence, just bad stuff. And man, I grew up in a really rough environment, but that's a story for another time. But my point is to say, I know there's no happiness greater than being a father for a man. And I know there's no happiness greater than being a mother for a woman. We love our kids more than anything else. I would lay down my life 1,000,000 times over to protect my wife and kids. And I mean that. Anybody that knows me and knows my family knows what I'm saying is true. And then I look at God's design, what Jesus talks about, how he talked about marriage, how he talked about family, everything that Jesus taught and teaches kind of, what am I trying to say? It supports and encourages man and woman living in holy matrimony. I hear these influencers out here that they sell you, and I'm not talking about Christian influencers, I'm talking about like the red pill guys, and they sell men on the idea of money and promiscuity and all these things, and that takes you away from the structure and the life that Jesus is calling us to have. A life of discipline. There's so much fulfillment in having discipline. Everybody has a different struggle, right? Me, I had my struggles were with women. Before my wife, I loved women, right? I was pretty promiscuous. I never really had a real strong relationship before my wife. But I had a lot of women that hung around me, and I had fun with them. Also, there was a lot of violence in my life, getting in a lot of fights and this type of stuff. That was a big problem for me. I was never really greedy or materialistic. I was always pretty down to earth when it came to that. So these red pill guys, they sell the idea of promiscuity to young men. They sell the idea of being having material wealth, and they don't sell them the idea of discipline, sexual discipline, financial discipline, spiritual discipline. If you really look at what Jesus taught young men, everything he asks of us to do it's not easy. He doesn't promise us an easy life. But if you're able to at least try, you're gonna fail, but you at least trying to live that type of discipline and trying to adhere what he teaches, you're gonna get so much fulfillment out of it. And you will fail, but God will recognize your efforts and you will be rewarded. I should be dead. There's so many times, I had guys trying to kill me. I did things that should have ended my life, and God preserved me. I could look back, I'm 46 now. I could look back on my life and recognize there was times I should have been dead. But God kept me alive. He put something in my heart, and now I have my wife, I have my kids, it's who I am now is so different from who I used to be. And I see now what my purpose is. And like I said, my purpose here is to encourage men to study and understand who Jesus was, who he was when he was here in the flesh, what he taught, who he truly was. The enemy has been able to hijack the idea of who Jesus was when he was here, twist it and give it back to us in a weak form. I hear a lot of these. There's a lot of these not Christian. A lot of these kind of masculine guys who talk about politics. More conservative guys that I like to listen to their podcasts. And I've been listening to a good handful of guys for years now. 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and the more time that goes by, the more I hear them talking about how they wanna learn more about Christianity. They would like to find God, but the thing that holds them back is they look at Christianity here in the West and they think it's a religion full of weak men. They think it's a religion full of pacifists. They actually give Islam more credit because these guys are so they're so structured and so disciplined in what they believe. In my opinion, Islam is evil. Islam is evil, right? These Muslims, it's a demonic religion. But the only reason they don't move towards Christianity is because they don't want to be associated with the false image that has been given to us through the deception of the enemy. The enemy was able to infiltrate Christianity, feminize it, bring it out to the masses, and create this cloak of deception over what Christianity truly is, and has sold it to the masses as a religion of passive, weak beta males. That's not what Christianity is. That's not who Jesus was. It's a religion of discipline, a strength. It's a narrow road, and if you are weak, you're gonna fail at trying to follow Christ. You have to have strength. You have to have discipline. He calls us to have sexual discipline, emotional discipline, financial discipline. Discipline in every facet of life. We are called to have that. He even said, one thing Jesus said is like, if you even look at a woman with lust, you've committed adultery. You know how hard it is to not look at a woman with lust? If you see a beautiful woman walking by, for us to look at her and not have lustful thoughts, that's nearly impossible. How is that? That's not an easy thing to do. So that example within itself shows how difficult it is to live a good Christian life. But nobody can deny, if you met a man that was able to accomplish that task of not lusting for a woman, there's no way you could look at that man and say he's weak. That would be an extremely disciplined man. That's the type of man I would love to follow. So it's a religion of discipline, and discipline requires strength and sturdiness and stoicism. So I'm here to inspire people to look into who Jesus was and who he is. That's why I'm here. I'm here to kind of recapture Christianity in my little corner of the world, and showing that no, Christianity, the true Christian men are actually the strongest, most disciplined, most trustworthy men out here. I'm not talking about myself. There's men that are way better than me. I'm working on it every single day. I fail all the time. So I'm not glorifying myself at all. Okay? I'm here to inspire and kind of, trailblaze for other young men. I got 3 sons, and I teach them this stuff too. Okay? I'm helping my sons fight demons as well. The Jezebel lustful spirit is coming after my sons. I see it. They tell me about it. They're getting bombarded with perversion all the time. My sons are 24, 13, and 11 years old, so I got the whole spread, right? I have a daughter. The Jezebel spirit tried to seduce her and try to turn her into a promiscuous young lady, try to sell her on the feminist ideologies. I was able to protect her from it, and she's not like that. So I have my own battles within my home, but that doesn't mean I cannot give to the world outside of me. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to speak to you guys from the heart. We as men have to be able to say no to the things we know are destructive to family and to God's design and God's plan. We as men should be out there looking for women who are virtuous, that are willing to be led, and we need to lead them towards Christ. We need to start families and stay and keep our hearts and minds close to who Jesus is and close to Him. He's waiting for us as men to open ourselves up to Him so He could come in and be the Lord of our lives and lead us on the path that He has given us, right? So that's why I'm here. I'm always going to stay true to that mission. Whether I make a penny or not, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to do what God's calling me to do. And I just hope and pray that you young men that are on the fence about who Jesus is and Christianity, forget what you've heard in the mainstream narrative. Forget all that shit. Sit down tonight before bed, turn everything off, take a couple of deep breaths, calm your heart, calm your mind, calm your soul, and ask Him to come in and show you who He is and what plan He has for you. Just do that and let me know how it goes. Hit me up, comment here on this video, or just message me on any of the other videos I got. I got tons of shit out here. Christianity is not what you've been told. It's a ideology, a religion, a belief, a lifestyle that is for the strong and for the most masculine and disciplined of us. And you'll never ever accomplish being a Christian in this life. You're always going to be walking towards that destination, and you're never gonna get there. But the journey will turn you into a warrior, will turn you into a man that you won't even recognize. Who you are today will be nothing compared to who you will be in 10 years if you walk the walk and if you follow Christ. So yeah, do that for me, guys. Let me know what you guys think, man. I'm just shooting from the hip. I'm just speaking from the heart. That's how I do my videos, man. I don't plan them out. I just get up, get to work, and whatever is put on my heart, I talk about. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment and share.
1 rebel, 2 rebel, 3 rebel, 4 rebel, 5. Yeah.